So now we have another game. It's called Senators, and it was released 2 years ago.
Last year
by La Mame Games, but in a very small print run and with very basic illustrations on it.
Absolutely. So, as typical with La Mame Games, Ricky Tata, and in this case his dad, Hog, I think, Haig. I always get it. It's a British pronunciation, and I messed it up. They release a small game here at Essen. They have a small booth. They sell a couple hundred copies, and their entire family's here. So it's a big to do, and they have a lot of fun here in Essen. I absolutely love this game they came out with last year. It's it's in the same vein as like Rainer Knizia's Modern Art, and in this case it's an adversarial bidding game. So there's a number of different auctions mechanics that are in this game, which I know auction mechanics aren't always the most popular these days, but I think it's just a fantastic game and a very tight economy like Modern Art was many years ago. So the basic premise of the game is you are kind of manipulating the Roman Senate and trying to become the most influential person in Rome and then be crowned the Caesar. So not a very unique theme. There's a number of resources, and through the game there's a couple ways you'll be acquiring resources. And resources have a material and a number. So here we have 1 wood, 6 cloth, 9 meat. You can turn resources in for money if you have 3 of the same number or 3 of the same item. You get a very substantial bonus if you have 3 of the same item in sequential. So if you had the 1, 2, 3 wood, normally if you just had a 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4, that would be worth 7 coins when you turn it in. If you have a 1, 2, 3, because they're sequential, you get the 6 points for the numbers added together, and you get an extra 15 points for having the run, essentially, of that material. So collecting the right resources for you is good. At the beginning of the game, each player would get 3 random resources, 1 from the first deck, 1 from the second, 1 from the third. So you start with those, and those would be hidden. Everyone starts with 10, 13, 16, 19 coins, depending on the player count. And then also at the beginning of the game, you would take a number of senators, which are special roles. In reverse player order, you would take one of those. So everyone would start with one of those roles in front of you. And those give you special abilities throughout the game. Then on your turn, the first thing you would do is draw an event card. There's a number of different events. The key event in this deck is a war. The game ends immediately when 4 war cards have been drawn. So there's 5 war cards in the deck, so you'll roughly get through about 75-80% of the deck. 15 turns, I think it works out to the math. But you're never quite sure when the game is going to end. So the first thing you do is resolve an event. Many of the events are different forms of
Punishments?
No, of auctions. So this one's actually this one's one of the more punishing ones. Everyone loses 5 coins. But if you have a governor card, the governors are, here's a governor of Gaul, for example. The governors protect you from the civil conflict. So if you don't have any coins, you can always sell one of your senators, one of your influence, for 5 coins. So for you other examples, this one is almost the opposite of the civil conflict. This means you lose, everyone with the governor would lose their governor cards. Senate majorities, the other players, if the players who have more than others, they get 2 coins for each player that's underneath them. So blue in this case would get 4 and white would get 2. So different auction types. A new senator, you start at 15 and it goes down. So what we call a Dutch auction. So I would go no at 15 and it would go around, no at 14, no at 13. no at 12, oh yes, for 11 I will buy a senator. Normally you can buy senators for 10, but sometimes you may want to buy them without taking action for 11. Sometimes you may get it for much cheaper. War we talked about. The other state deficit. So state deficit 15, we all put in an amount blindly. If that amount is 15 or greater, whoever put in the highest gets a senator. If it's under 15, whoever put in the lowest loses a senator. So there's other auction mechanisms in here and the war actually is an auction. Everyone puts in a blind amount. Whoever bids the most gets a senator for that amount, but everyone else loses their money. So there's a number of, in the events, there's a number of different auction mechanisms within the events.
And I always get perhaps one senator or not?
A lot of them are around money or senators. And money is very, very tight in this game. So you really have to figure out how you spend your money. So the other option, then after you do the event, you take an action. So the actions are an auction. So I host an auction. I flip over the top card in each of these 4 decks. Starting with the next player, everyone gets one chance to auction, and the auctions are fixed amounts. So let's say green was next, and they say, oh, I'll pay 1 for that, I'll pay for 3 for that, and they'll pass. And then blue says, well, I'll pay 3 for this and 2 for that. And now it comes back to me, and I can either pay them 2 and take the card, or they pay me and they take the card.
All right.
And you can do that in any order. In this case, if no one bids at all, I can take the card for free. So the auction is both a way of getting cards for all the players and or getting money. So controlling, what you buy and what you sell in the auction is very important. The other action you can do is everyone will have cards in front of them. So on my turn, I can extort. So at the beginning of extort, I get 3 coins for taking the extort action. And then I'll say, I really want that cloth.
Yes.
I will pay you 3 for that cloth.
Okay.
And you have the choice of either taking that offer and I give you 3 and take the card, which may be more valuable than 3 for you, or you have to pay me 3 to keep the card. So the extort, really knowing the value. So in another way, that is another type of auction that works out. And then the final action you can take is what is cash in. Cash in, I can turn in any sets of cards I have, get the money for them, and then I can buy senators for 10 coins each. If I do the cash in action, every other player also has the option of paying me 5 coins to take their own cash in option as well. So you lose 5 coins, but you don't have to take an action to do that. Especially at the end of the game when you already have 3 wars out and you're not quite sure when that 4th war is out, it's very important to gauge, am I going to get another turn, or is it worth spending 5 coins to get more senators?
Right.
End of the game, the player with the most senators wins the game.
So a very tight money game, and you use a lot of strategic stuff to make it higher for the other guys or cheap for you to get the card.
Yeah, it's a very much, it's one of the reasons why auction games don't sell well is the game is figuring out how much things are worth. Yeah. And the cost and the value depends on where you are in the game, and
you have to play it a few times to get to know it.
You have to play it twice. But it's a quick game. It's 30, 45 minutes at most.